It's time for the podcast. Yeah, the podcast is starting.
What's a podcast?
It's all gonna be alright in the end. It's gonna be alright. And if you've got some worries, my dear little friends, please rest your busy minds, because it's finally time for stories from now and then.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Stories from Now and Then. My name is Captain Blunderface, and I'm here in the old library with Deprecatus, and we've been doing some research this morning. We found 3 books about camels, and we've been going through them. Deprecatus, did you know a camel can go up to 3 weeks without water? 3 weeks! I know. And how about this? The hump on the camel is not water storage. It's full of fat. The hump stores fat for energy, so the camel can just keep going. Yeah, I didn't know that till this morning either. We have learned so much today already, and we're about to learn even more about the person for today's shout-out. So today's story goes out to Tennyson in London, Ontario. Tennyson is just over 9.5 years old, loves playing soccer and Mario Kart, and is really looking forward to the 2026 World Cup this year. So Tennyson, this story is for you. And it looks like we just got a message from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by the all-new Stories from Now and Then coloring book companion, where you can color along with the stories as you listen to them. To find out more, just head over to storiesfromnowandthen.com, where you can find a free downloadable coloring page. And with that, we are now very excited for today's story, where there may even be a special guest. Nicola, we'll pass it off to you.
Today's story is actually going to be read by a very special guest. We have here my own daddy, who used to read me stories all the time when I was a little girl. And he's going to read a lovely story, which is a very old story, so it's got some funny words in it. But if you just listen and enjoy it, I think you'll be able to figure out what most of them mean. There's also a character in. That's another word, or an old word, for a genie. Perhaps you've seen Aladdin. A genie is like that, like a magical spirit. And I think that's everything you need to know. Let's hear how the camel got its hump. A story by Rudyard Kipling. Okay, go for it, Dad.
Now this is the next tale, and it tells how the camel got his big hump. In the beginning of years, when the world was so new and all, and the animals were just beginning to work for man, there was a camel, and he lived in the middle of a howling desert, because he did not want to work. And besides, he was a howler himself. So he ate sticks and thorns and tamarisks and milkweed and prickles. Most excruciating idle. And when anybody spoke to him, he said, "Humph." Just humph, and no more. Presently the horse came to him on Monday morning with a saddle on his back and a bit in his mouth, and he said, "Camel, oh camel, come out and trot like the rest of us." "Humph," said the camel, and the horse went away and told the man. Presently the dog came to him with a stick in his mouth and said, "Camel, oh camel, come and fetch and carry like the rest of us." "Humph," said the camel, and the dog went away and told the man. Presently the ox came to him with a yoke on his neck and said, "Camel, oh camel, come and plough like the rest of us." "Humph," said the camel, and the ox went away and told the man. At the end of the day, the man called the horse and the dog and the ox together and said, 303. I'm very sorry for you, with the world so new and all, but that hump thing in the desert can't work, or he would have been here by now, so I'm going to leave him alone, and you must work double time to make up for it. That made the 3 very angry with the world so new and all, and they held a palaver and an indaba, and a panchayat, and a powwow on the edge of the desert, and the camel came chewing on milkweed, most excruciating idle, and laughed at them. Then he said, "Humph," and went away again. Presently there came along the jinn in charge of all deserts, rolling in a cloud of dust. Jinns always travel that way because it is magic. And he stopped to palaver and powwow with the three. "Jinn of all deserts," said the horse, "is it right for anyone to be idle with the world so new and all?" "Certainly not," said the jinn. "Well," said the horse, "there's a thing in the middle of your howling desert, and he's a howler himself, with a long neck and long legs, and he hasn't done a stroke of work since Monday morning. He won't trot." "Phew," said the jinn, whistling. "That's my camel, for all the gold in Arabia. What does he say about it?" "He says, 'Humph,'" said the dog, "and he won't fetch and carry." "Does he say anything else?" "Only 'Humph,' and he won't plough," said the ox. "Very good," said the jinn. "I'll humph him, if you will kindly wait a minute." The jinn rolled himself up in his dust cloak and took a bearing across the desert and found the camel most excruciatingly idle, looking at his own reflection in a pool of water. "My long and bubbling friend," said the jinn, "what's this I hear of your doing no work, with the world so new and all?" "Humph," said the camel. The jinn sat down with his chin in his hand and began to think a great magic, while the camel looked at his own reflection in the pool of water. "You've given the three extra work, ever since Monday morning, all on account of your excruciating idleness," said the jinn, and he went on thinking magics, with his chin in his hand. "Humph," said the camel. "I shouldn't say that again, if I were you," said the jinn. "You might say it once too often. Bubbles, I want you to work." And the camel said, "Humph," again. But no sooner had he said it than he saw his back, that he was so proud of, puffing up and puffing up into a great big lolloping humph. "Do you see that?" said the jinn. "That's your very own humph that you brought upon your very own self by not working. Today is Thursday, and you've done no work since Monday, when the work began. Now you are going to work." "How can I?" said the camel, "with this humph on my back?" "That's made a purpose," said the jinn. "All because you missed those 3 days. You will be able to work now for 3 days without eating, because you can live on your humph. And don't you ever say I never did anything for you. Come out of the desert and go to the 3 and behave. Humph yourself." And the camel humphed himself, humph and all, and went away to join the 3. And from that day to this, the camel always wears a humph. We call it a hump now, not to hurt his feelings. But he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world, and he has never yet learned how to behave.
That poor camel. Or is it a poor camel? Because it was being very naughty and very lazy, not working, not helping, not being part of the team. I've met a few camels now in my life, and some of them do seem very grumpy. But they are amazing creatures, and they can go for days on end without drinking any water or eating any food. That hump stores it all for them. I hope you enjoyed hearing that story. It was really special for me to have my daddy read me a story again.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Nicola. And thank you, Uncle John, for being our very first Stories from Now and Then guest narrator. So, Deprecatus, now we know how the camel got his hump. We are definitely going to add this to our stash of camel lore. What an interesting animal. Oh, of course, cats are very interesting too. You know what? Maybe you could write something too. You could call it How the Cat Got His Attitude? Oh, okay, sorry. How the Cat Got His Luscious Fur Coat by Deprecatus. Yeah, that's better. If you would like a shout out too, just send us a DM on Instagram at Stories From Now and Then. We'd love to hear from you, see any art that you've drawn of the stories, or any coloring pages you've colored in. Stories From Now and Then was narrated today by John Craig. Introduced by Nicola Ward. Music by Captain Blunderface. Make sure to subscribe and follow wherever you see your podcasts so that you get every episode every week. And for the coloring book, just head over to storiesfromnowandthen.com. We will see you all in the next one on
Stories from Now and Then.